Hi guys, how's it going? It's been a little while, but thank you for tuning in. So, if you are watching this, then you have already read the video title and you know what this is all about. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. If you know me well, then you know that over the years I change up my hair quite a bit. I go from black to blonde, everything in between, back again to dark, and then back to blonde. Um, I feel more like me as a blonde or a lighter brown, but every once in a while I like to go back to my roots. Anyways, so over the years I've stuck to my main stylist, and whenever I'm back at home, I usually go visit them, and then they do my hair all as well. The last little while, I have changed up my stylist and been very happy. But whenever I'm traveling, I obviously have to find a new stylist. And girls, I mean, you know how hard it is to find somebody you trust and somebody that you think will do a good job on your hair. It always takes a new stylist like a couple of tries to be comfortable with what you like and get to know you, but also know your hair really well so they know what process and treatments it needs and that sort of thing. Long story short, I'm going to make this as short as possible, but let's see. I recently moved to Toronto and had to find a new stylist here. Basically, I got my hair done in December before I came, and I got the blonde done, and I was very happy with it. But I realized I need more dark in my hair, and my hair had grown out where the dark was kind of just sitting on top of my head as it is now. And it's supposed to be like a balayage, but it wasn't as far down. Like it was like a odd length of black, and then it was just blonde. And so it kept bothering me, and I was like, okay, I need to get more dark in my hair. Also, when you're treating your hair and you're processing your hair, not treating, when you're processing your hair and you're going as light as possible, your hair gets damaged because you're breaking the bonds in your hair, and you're taking out like protein. So you have to, like, as soon as you start coloring your hair or processing your hair or doing different things, like even when you're styling your hair with hot tools, you got to be very careful, and you got to use the right products, and you got to really, like, it becomes kind of high maintenance, right? Like it's a process, but to me it's always been an investment, and I enjoy it, and I like the look overall, so I do my thing. So when I moved here, I was like, okay, I need a little bit more dark in my hair. Where do I go? Now, I always do a ton of research before I try a new stylist because I need to be 150% confident in their ability to do what I want. My hair has always been my thing, so I'm very careful with who I trust. But once I find a good stylist, I usually stick with them for a long period of time. Being new to Toronto, I had to do a lot of my research on my own, and a lot of times it's word of mouth, but I thought, okay, let me just use the power of technology and social and whatnot and the tools we have, and I'm sure I'll be able to find somebody I'm content with. So I know, like, I've been coloring my hair since I was 16-ish. Yeah. Since I was 16, my hair has been colored, and just it's been a range of different colors, highlights, treated. I've had a perm in my hair. I got my hair permed in like grade 5. My aunt did it. She was a hairdresser. So yeah, like I've been through it all. I've like my poor hair. It's been through a lot, but it's always turned out. I've never had an issue with it. I've gone to different stylists in different cities like London, New York. And I've never had an issue. I've never had an issue. So here in Toronto, I was doing all this research. I go on social. I found a bunch of salons. I DM'd a few different stylists, and I felt like there was this one salon and one stylist I was comfortable with. And I was like sending her pictures, and I'm like, this is exactly what I want. Are you able to do this? And she's like, yeah, no worries. So basically the idea was to bring the dark down lower and even pull it through to the end, and basically my whole head would look darker and there'd be more dark than blonde. That was what I went in for. And my hair wasn't layered at the time. It was one length and it was longer and it was thicker. I'm very nakari. So that's just me. Anyways, so I found the salon, booked an appointment, went in, down in the chair. Me and the stylist had another conversation and I showed her, okay, this is what I want, but ultimately I don't want it to look like one solid color. And I was just having a conversation with her. For some reason, me and the stylist, she wasn't fully getting it. So I'm showing her more and more pictures. And as I'm doing that, I felt like she was getting a little bit confused. So she's like, okay, basically we need to pull up more blonde up here so it doesn't look like black blonde, but we're also pulling down the dark. And I'm like, that's exactly what I want. But I don't want it to look like highlighted. Like, I don't want it to look chunky, but ultimately it should look darker. It's not rocket science, but apparently it was. So she starts doing foils on my head, and I'm like, why are we doing so many foils underneath? And she was like, no, we have to do your whole head because you have darker pieces underneath and whatnot. And I was like, they're not really going to show, but okay. So she's doing all these foils, and I'm like, you're doing the dark pieces too, like you're foiling down the dark. And she's like, no, we're just doing all the blonde. And I was like, okay, so we're just the dark, whatever's dark in my hair, you're adding more blonde. So you're basically bleaching the dark, which I agreed to. But I didn't agree to a whole head of highlights and foils. Next thing I know, she moves me to a different chair. Another client walks in for her, and for the next little while, this client has her like undivided attention. So next thing I know, she's instructing one of the assistants to pull down the color. And I was like, what's happening? So we're doing the whole head. So next thing I know, the whole head is now bleached again. And she's pulled down the bleach. And I'm like, I know, because my stylist told me in December, you cannot put any more bleach on your blonde. Like, there's no more blonde. Like, this is as blonde as we can get. And that's it. And I was perfectly content with that. And I know, as a client, you cannot put more blonde on this blonde because you are going to ruin my hair. So I'm looking at her and I'm like, is this okay? And my stylist is like, yeah, it's fine, don't worry, we'll rinse it out in a few minutes. So I was like, and then what? Are you gonna do the dark? Like, what's happening? And she's like, well, we're gonna blow dry it and then we'll see. So she takes me to the sink. She rinses me out, and I always do a treatment whenever I get my hair colored. So she puts on the treatment. It was a different treatment than what I usually do. My head is stinging. Like, it is burning, it's stinging. I'm like, you need to rinse this out now. Something is not right. Like, it's not okay. Basically, I knew she had bleached my entire head at this point, and I was like scared. I was like, this is not okay, but maybe once the dark comes on, it'll be fine. Takes me to the chair, takes out the towel. I'm looking at my head, and there's still like all this black here, only a few pieces of blonde, but the rest of it is like so much more blonder. And it was just like basically looked at as if it's been toned, like not bleach. So I'm looking at my hair and I'm like, but it's wet. So when it's wet, your hair always looks darker. Fine. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, oh, okay, this isn't what I wanted. This isn't what I signed up for. So she's getting her brush, or I don't know what she was doing, or attending to like her other client. And I'm sitting there and I'm going like this. My hair's wet. Going like this. And clumps of my hair start falling out, like in my hand. Like clumps of hair. And I'm like, looking at this and I'm like, this is not right. Like, this has never happened to me. My hair, I mean, we shed hair all day, every day, about 100 hairs every day or something like that. And whenever I come out of the shower, my hair sheds for sure. But it's never to a point where you go like this and like half your head is in your hands. And that's what basically happened. And I was like looking at this horrified. So I think she came back at one point and she's like, okay, we're just gonna blow dry the front. Is this what you wanted? And I'm like, where's the dark? And she's like, oh, you said you didn't want dark. And I'm like, no, that's not what I said. I see her at one point go talk to the owner on the side, and you could tell something was wrong. Like, I looked at both of their faces, they looked at my face, and we all knew shit hit the fan. So the owner comes over, she's like, well, I'm just gonna help her out because she has her client already. This client is doing very well. There's no extra bleach. I see her hair. It's looking really good. The highlights are done properly. Everything's good. This girl's getting the royal treatment, what I basically paid for, but she's getting my time and my stylist. And basically I got pawned off to an assistant and people that don't, and like, I don't think my stylist even knew what, like, I don't know what happened. There was some sort of miscommunication. They double booked and basically I got screwed and my hair got screwed. So I'm looking at this owner and I'm like, look, I'm like, this isn't what I wanted. I didn't come in for this. I came in for highlights. I showed her photos. I'm like, this is what I wanted. Overall, my hair should be darker. It should be melted. Like, this is not like what I came in for and what I'm paying for. And she's like, okay. She's like, fully understand. She's like, I'm going to put in some darker pieces. She's going to help me. So now I have two people putting in like low lights in my hair, like darker pieces. And I'm like, this is still not going to achieve what I want. But I was just kind of at a point where I was like, just keep your mouth shut, get it to like a decent looking color and like leave and never come back. And I was just praying that the dark would maybe help my hair not fall out anymore. There was barely any dark because they were low lights. So I was sitting in the chair. I think I sat in that chair for 6 hours, which I'm kind of used to. Like, my hair takes a long time. It's thick and it's long, and so it takes a long time to do my hair. But 6 hours, no water, no nothing, no bathroom breaks, whatever. Like, I'm sitting in that chair doing my thing and thinking they're doing their thing. No. So they're like, oh, we're going to do two free treatments for you now. And I'm like, okay. So she puts on the treatment again. I'm like, this is like stinging my head. Like, this is not okay. You need to rinse this out. And this is what I told the other girl. Like, I don't understand what's happening. So they rinse out my hair and I'm sitting in the chair and I'm doing this and it's still falling out. And she's like, don't touch your hair. It's very vulnerable. I'm like, yeah, because you guys bleached my head. Like, that's not what I came in for. I didn't ask for my hair to be bleached. You guys should have explained that that's the process you're going to do. You can't just do that, right? So I was trying to keep calm and I'm like, this isn't what I wanted. She's like, okay. And like my ends were like so straggly because it's so damaged. She's like, oh, she's like, don't worry, I'll throw it. And she's like, I'll charge you like 1/3 of the cost I usually charge for a haircut and we'll give you a quick trim and I'll put in some layers and your hair will be fine. So now she's layering my hair, she's bleached my hair, she's added low lights. It's still not melted. It basically looks like how I went in, but now my hair is about like 40% less in thickness because 40% of my hair is sitting on her salon floor. And I really wish I had taken a photo of this. I really wish I had because then I could have shown it right now. But I was like in tears, but trying to suck it up so I wouldn't cry in the salon. But I was like, I have so much anxiety and I'm like so upset right now. She's like, I know you are. That's why I stepped in. And I'm like, she knows this got fucked up. Like, this is not okay. So anyways, they styled my hair and it was like another assistant that came over and styled my hair. And I'm like, usually I'm like, just do your thing. I was like, be as gentle as you possibly can. Like, my hair is falling out. Like, this is not okay. So she gave me a trim and then added layers. But she did such short layers, which I don't do anymore because it just makes your hair feel even more thin. And with all the hair that had fallen out, I was like, now I feel bald. This is like 3.5, 4 weeks later. But I will post a photo of it and it looks so thin. When I walked out of there, I did pay the full price with the add-ons. And I was so upset because it was close to $400. And I was like, I just paid you for 6 hours of my time, $400 for something I didn't want. Half my, like 40% of my hair is gone. I feel bald. The length is gone, and like you royally effed me. Like, this is not okay. But at that point, I'm like, I'm not gonna have an argument. I'm just gonna pay and leave and never come back, and like, screw you guys. Like, I was so upset. So I'm walking home, or walking to the bus, and I'm calling my mom, and I'm like in tears, and my mom's like, she's trying to keep a poker face, but I could see it on her face. Like, she was like, what the hell happened to your hair? And the thing is I had to go out that night, like within the hour, and I was like, I wanted to cancel because I just, like, when my hair doesn't feel good, like, a lot of you girls can understand, like, when your hair doesn't look and feel good, it's not what you wanted, you don't feel like at your best. But I'm like, no, I'm gonna rock it, I'm just gonna suck it up and just go tonight, and then I can cry tomorrow. And that's basically what I did. But like the whole night I was like very conscious, and I was like touching my hair, and it feels so thin, and it sucks. It royally sucks. I think like after 3 days of like agony and trying to play around with it, and I wasn't touching it too much because it was still falling out, and I was like, this is a nightmare. Like, the thickness is completely gone. It's like, I will show you a picture of me with my hair up, and there's all these broken pieces and so many split ends. Okay, so by now you guys have seen what happened to my hair, and I just want to show you, like, this is my hair when I stick it up. Like, I have all these little pieces, and this is all broken hair. So this is broken hair. This is not baby hair, this is broken hair. Like, there used to be longer pieces attached to the ends of this. Like, I never had this before, and now what the F is this? So, fantastic. It's not really, like, you can barely see the highlights up here or the lowlights down here. I basically paid them to damage my hair, is what happened. So a few days later, I emailed the owner, and I wrote a very stern email. So the owner emailed me back, and she's like, we're gonna give you 100% refund. And I was like I was happy, but I was in complete shock, because I'm like, that just means like you and I both know you screwed up royally, and you know how much damage this is. So anyways, got the refund. But I've basically spent a lot of money now on products and different hair therapies, I guess you could say, because now I'm gonna try and restore my hair and get the integrity back. And I still need to go darker, but I am petrified to go to another salon here. Basically, the purpose of this is kind of like an intro. I figured turn this into a positive, and now over the next few months and maybe year, I'm going to show you my hair restoration journey, I guess, and basically tell you about products that I'm trying, and telling you about products that work, because heaven forbid this happens to any one of you. Anyways, like I said, I'm going to try all these products. I have everything from natural to professional to high-end products that I've ordered, and hopefully it'll be beneficial for somebody if you're trying to grow out your hair, or if your hair is severely damaged and ruined like mine. Hopefully it isn't, but if it is, hopefully I can help you out. And definitely DM me or leave a comment below and tell me what products or things you've used that help you out. Maybe it'll help me out. And yeah, I think the video cut out, but this is where I say goodbye, and thank you for watching.